Okay, what part am I doing, you guys?
Huh?
What part do you need me to do, if anything?
Who was Cor?
Caragos?
That's you automatically, right?
I'm doing the stage directions, but what, like, who's Antigone?
I'm Cross.
You're Caragos, who's Antigone?
Of course.
Okay, okay, you're,
He's already quartered.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
You just want.
Who do
Okay,
you,
I'll be Antigone.
you're gonna be Creon and then do you need me to do anything? Or should I do Caragos, I
Yeah,
guess?
that can be fine.
Okay, all right, so everybody, you're always gonna be up here and also following along in the strip. Okay, we're gonna introduce ourselves for scene 5, and then, what part are you? Tell a crowd.
Chorus.
I'm Antigone.
Creon.
And I'm gonna be Caragos, okay?
And let's just make sure that the only thing you're looking at on your iPad right now is your script.
Right, because here's the thing, Miss Denton and I, most of your teachers get a little salty if we hand out the paper and like, yeah, so what am I supposed to do? Can you help me out with this? Like, I've been teaching you this all along and you've been choosing to mess around, looking at something else. And now you want me to give you more time, like volunteering to help you get caught up? I mean, yeah, I end up doing it. But it kind of sucks, okay? It kind of sucks to treat you that way. All right, scene 5, Caragos, as Antigone enters guarded, she's got guard on her, remember that, well, last we checked, was Creon going to kill Antigone? No, he changed his mind. Why did he change his mind?
Put her in this like jail super far away.
Nellie is a genius, he's putting her in jail, super far away. He's gonna feed her, so that way that they can't be accused of killing her, right? Who warned him about this, his behavior? Who warned him? Who did he have a big old nasty fight with? His son, Haman. And Haman was like, Dad, I respect you, but word on the street is, this is kind of harsh. So could you be reasonable? Right? And his dad at first is very offended, but he does listen to some, at the end, he's like, okay, I'll do it this way. But before that, his dad was so mad at him. What was one of the crazy things he suggested about killing Antigone? Yeah. He's like, you know what? I'm so mad at you and you're so ridiculous. Bring her out here. Let's kill her in front of you, her boyfriend. Sick, Creon, very, very sick. And the last words Haman said to his father was, I'll never see you again. And he also warned that her death may cause more. That she might not die, remember? She might not die. Okay, Corella, sorry. I can no longer stand in awe of this, nor seeing what I see keep back my tears. Here is Antigone passing to that chamber where all find sleep at last, okay? So even Caragos, the part of the chorus, is feeling like, I'm really upset that this is happening to our girl Antigone. Okay.
Look upon me, friends, and pity me, turning back at the night's edge to say goodbye to the sun that shines for me no longer. Now sleepy death summons me down to Acheron, that cold shore. There is no bridge bride song there, or no music.
Okay, so Antigone is like, she's referring to the river of the underworld, right? And she's gonna die in this waltz. And as she says, there's no bride song there. I'm not even gonna get to be a bride. Okay, chorus.
Yet not unpraised, not without kind of honor. You walk at least into the underworld, untouched by sickness, broken by no sword. What woman has ever found real pain of death?
How often I have heard the story of
Niobe.
Tantalon's
Wretched. Yeah.
wretched daughter, how the stone clung fast about her, ivy clothed, and they say the rain falls endlessly, and rifting soft snow, the tears are never done. I feel the loneliness of her death in mine.
Okay, and there's a little note there. Niobe boasted or bragged of her numerous children, provoking Leto, the mother of Apollo, to destroy them. So angering the gods, okay? Niobe wept profusely and finally was turned into a stone on Mount Sisyphus, whose streams are her tears. That's a little Greek mythology there. And Antigone's feeling this loneliness. Now, she doesn't have any children that she's losing, but she's thinking of her future children, right? I'm not going to be a mom. I'm not going to be a bride. I'm not going to have a family. Okay, chorus.
But she was born of heaven, and you are a woman born. If her death is yours, a mortal's woman, is this not for your glory in our world? And never
Yep, so the chorus is just saying, hey, she was a god. Niobe was a god, and you're not. Okay. All right, Antigone.
You laugh at me, all friends, friends. Can you not wait until I am dead? O
Thebes.
Thebes, O men, many curated in love with fortune, be witness for me, denied all pity, unjustly judged, and think a word of love for her whose path turns under dark earth where there are no mortals.
Chorus.
In the past, beyond human daring and coming at last into a place of stone where justice sits. I cannot tell what shape of your father's guilt appears in this.
Okay, so now we got another throwback. Her father's guilt. We know her dad, Oedipus, right? Killed his dad and, made babies with his mom. We know all that whole scandalous part, right? And again, there's this idea like, ooh, did you really do wrong, or is this the curse of your father, Oedipus, doing so many wrong things? Is this your father's guilt? And Antigone's going to refer to that in this next week. She's going to talk about, and this could be a good one to highlight. So if you're able to have your script up, I would just highlight this part of Antigone's speech, because she's going to talk about is her family first.
You have touched it at last, the bridal bed, and sweetened the horror of a son and mother mingling. Their crime infection of all a family. O Oedipus, father and brother, your marriage strikes from the grave to murder mine. I have been a stranger here in my own land. All my life, the blasphemy of my birth has followed me.
That's a big deal, okay? So that, like I said, I would highlight that if you're able to highlight it, everybody on your tip of ability, you guys too. Because this again could be a reason. Is Antigone guilty of treason? Is she not guilty? One could say that she was cursed by her father, right? She's like, you said it, right? The bridal bed of a son and mother commingling, right? So to be gross, the son and mother having sex. And that crime of that infected all of our family. I'm a result of that, right? My grandma's my mom, all this other string, my dad's my brother. It gets weirder than that, right? So their marriage, created me, and it also has cursed me too. Okay, the blasphemy of my birth. Have you ever heard of like, don't blaspheme the Lord, don't swear? It's like this disrespect of my birth, the fact that I was born from this huge sin, let's say, has followed me. So maybe I'm just cursed. Okay, chorus.
Forbearance is a virtue, but strength lives an established law that must prevail. You have made your choice. Your death is the doing of your conscious hand.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you there too. Okay, so here's another reply, and you might want to scribble, highlight that, because the chorus is saying, you chose this. You decided to break the law. You've made a choice, and you should live according to the law. Okay, so it's another person saying, all right, you should obey laws. Okay, Antigone with emotion.
Let me go, since all your words are bitter, and the very light of the sun is cold to me. Lead me to my vigil, where I must have neither love nor lamentation, no song but silence.
Creon comes in, interrupting impatiently.
If you just play the limitations, to put off death, men will sing forever.
So she's like, I've got no lamentations, no songs of woe. And Creon's like, yeah, if people did that, people can have all these songs of woe and sadness. People could be putting off their death, okay? And to the servants, Creon says,
Take her, go. You know your orders. Take her to the hall and leave her there alone. If she lives or dies, that's her affair, not yours. Our hands are clean.
right? Okay, he's like, go, we'll feed her, but whatever happens to her happens to her. We didn't kill her, right? Okay, Antigone.
O Tom, vaulted bride, bed, an eternal rock, soon I shall be with my own again. Where
Persephone?
Persephone welcomes the thin ghost on the ground, and I shall see my father again, and you, mother, and dearest
Polyneices?
dearest indeed, to me, since it was my hand that washed him clean and poured the ritual wine, and my reward is death before my time. And yet, as men's hearts know, I have done no wrong, I have not sinned before God, or if I have, I shall know the truth in death. But if the guilt lies upon Creon who judged me, then I pray may his punishment equal my own.
Okay, so another good really part from Antigone. At first she says like, you know what? Okay, the vaulted bride bed. And again, she keeps referring to, I was gonna get married, but now my bridal bed will be in this tomb, right? But I'm gonna see my family again. My dad and my mom, and my brothers that died. And you know what? And she said, I did the right thing by burying my brother, by doing the ceremony, but my reward is death before my time. Okay? And that last paragraph is a good one too for evidence. She says, as men's hearts know, as other people know, I've done no wrong. I have not sinned before God. Okay? But if the guilt lies upon Creon, like if I was, and I'll know when I die, I'll know. Somehow the gods will let me know if I'm guilty. But if the guilt is more on Creon for judging me, oh, then I pray, may his punishment equal my own. Okay? So she's like, if I did wrong, I'll deal with that when I die. But I really hope if Creon, this is Creon's fault, that he gets what's coming to him. Okay, well, that's, oh, passionate heart, unyielding, tormented still by the same winds. And Creon,
Oh,
where are her guards?
where are her guards? They should have good cause to regret their delay.
Thieves in you, my father's gods, and rulers of thieves, you see me now, the last unhappy daughter of a line of kings, your kings, led away to death. You will remember what things I suffered, and not what men's hands, because I would not transgress the law of heaven.
Okay, so she's saying again, you all, you know, I'm the last of his daughters, right? His Mamie's gonna be in jail too. But I'm not gonna, the laws of heaven, she keeps saying that over and over, that's her defense. I follow the laws of the gods, and the gods would allow my brother to go to heaven, okay? And then she says to the guards,
Oh, come, let us wait no longer.
and Antigone exits left with guards on each arm, and the chorus ends this way.
All vain beauty was locked away in the rain, so the sunlight could not come. A small room still as any grave enclosed her, yet she was a princess. Gold poured love upon her, O child, no poor, move out for war, or tough sea, blackened ships, could prevail against the unkind destiny.
Okay, so again, the chorus is saying all this beauty, all this potential in Antigone is gonna be locked away in this vault. No sun can see her, like a flower, she's gonna wither away, but she still is a princess. That's how sad, this is happening. So she's getting some sympathy. All right, everybody give some applause for the scene 5 readers. And go on back, it was a great job going back to your desk. Let's pull up that scene 5 summary and work on that together, please. So if you have not been here in class and you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, you're going to need to go to Google Classroom, as we do. And this is a short one, so we'll be able to go through scene 6 too. So again, if you're not familiar with this, we're going to go to Google Classroom and let's find this information, and we're going to look for scene 5, right? All right. So we'll go over here to scene 5 summary, and I'll pull that up, and it's right up. So if you haven't been here, the magic is happening in Unit 5, Ancient Greece, and you will see, if you haven't looked in, there's video recordings. I put them up here for each scene. You know what? Maybe just move. How about this? I'm going to suggest this is a daily happening, and I'm not upset with you. Let's turn it this way and see really close to that. How about that? That's okay, honey. It just happens, but I don't want you to be startled constantly. All right. So, in these videos, you will see not only the scene recorded, but are talking about it, and then the scene summaries. Okay. So we need to pull up scene 5 summary, and I'll do that. There you go. Then it won't, because otherwise it's going to startle you over and over, honey. All right, so scene 5 summary. Now, I have helped you a lot with these summaries. You've got the script in front of you. It's not a very long one. So what happens? Go back to the beginning of the script, if you will. What happens in the beginning of the scene? What's going on there? Yeah, Joe. Yeah, okay. Antigone walks in with 2 guards. And this is kind of Antigone's moment, right? She's kind of in front of Creon and everybody. She's got these cards. It's Antigone's, let's say it's her last moment, because I think this is the last we hear from her. Okay. And what is she talking about? This isn't a huge scene. It's a short scene. But what is going on in this scene? Again, you don't have to look at me. You do have a script in front of you too that you can go back and forth with. What if this is her last scene where we hear her speaking? Where is she going off to? Yeah, Elena. She's going to be brought to her dungeon. Yeah, in the woods. Remember, she's not going to be executed, but she's got life in prison. Okay. Right? She doesn't realize that she doesn't get to hang out with her friends anymore, with her sister anymore. She certainly doesn't get to marry Haman, right? And she wanted to die kind of in glory, right? And instead, she has to wither away in prison, okay? Right? She's like, kill me, go ahead and kill me, do it. Kind of thinking that she'd be heroic by doing that too. And now it's like, it's kind of a letdown too. Like, oh, here you go. You get to live out the rest of your days from 15, 16 years old that you are to like, if you're 90 in this vault, and maybe somebody will come by and visit you. Okay. Pretty unpleasant way to go, right? You don't get to be married. And she's upset, right? So Antigone in this scene, she talks about missing out on getting married, having children, right? What other thing does she wonder about? Why does she think she might? Yeah, Nellie. Yes, she wonders if she's cursed. Is this the fault of her dad? Right? So again, this is one of those, like, this is not as big deal of a scene, like the Haman scene with his dad was big. The next one's going to be kind of big. Sometimes in between, we have to have these moving along. Okay. We got to have Antigone have her last words. She's got to go to her prison. And really, she also feels like she did the right thing. She is obeying the gods, which is more important to her. Okay. She keeps saying, I'm doing what the gods wanted me to do. The gods say we all deserve to be buried and go under the underworld or the afterworld. I don't know what they call it in ancient Greece. And she's like, Creon is interfering with that. Okay. Creon is interfering with the laws of the gods. So his law must be bad. Okay. It's no big deal for her to disobey that. Okay. Right. So again, it's just kind of a moving along one, right? And now So what important information should we remember to go back to? What parts did I tell you to highlight in your script? Let's go back and look at that. Yeah. Yeah, so on page 33, that's great. Page 35. Antigone wants Creon to have the punishment he deserves, right? Excellent. You've got your script. You want to look at page 34? What on there is a reason maybe why she could be cursed? Right? On page 34, she says her dad's crime infected the whole family. Direct line of her being cursed, right? Her dad and her grandma, right? That's where she came from. And she said, good God, man. Thanks, Dad, for that. And Mom, am I cursed? Maybe this is the fault of that too. Okay. And on page 35, she also says she has done no wrong. And again, I'm going back to this, trying to find some evidence that you can use for your paper, right? She says she's done no wrong, right? Because that's going to be the whole thing. Is she guilty of treason? Did she break the law? Did she disobey the government? And you can say, yes, she did. Creon made these laws, right? Or you could say, no, she didn't. This was an unjust law. She listened to the laws of the gods. Okay. And really, I kind of think there's not much else on here. This is, again, a short scene, so do not panic. Now, you don't have 6 bullet points. That's okay, because we're doing this together. I think you can turn this in as is. Now you know what happened in this scene. You know, you can go if you want to have some text evidence in this scene. And we need some time for scene 6, right? And we're here till 40? 30. Okay, close. One of those things. All right, so I'm going to beg you to turn this in. Please, please, please turn it in. And I want our scene 6 folks to come on up here. So turn this one in. No. Garrett does, you all, Garrett does not have to read something he just got here, okay? Yes. Pardon me? Back. Yes. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, this is important, everybody. Whoa. And I see someone do this. The last couple people have been taking screenshots and turning that in. You still have to write it on your page. So I deducted some points and I'm going to deduct points for that. If you want to take a screenshot of it so you can write it in later, that's fine. But do not just turn in a photo. Because I got to say, how lazy can you get? I'm kind of telling you what to write. And now you're taking a photo of it. So put in a little bit more effort, my dears, okay? A little bit more effort with that. So if you want to take a picture of it and then fill out your summary, that's fine. But don't just turn in a picture. All right, you got to have a little bit more going on here. Do you have enough people to do your parts or do you need any help? You think you're good?
I don't know. You don't have it.
I'm sure you're good. This is a big scene, everybody. We've got someone telling Creon, a blind prophet coming. Interesting that he's blind because he can see the unseen. All right. So I'm going to close this one out. If you took a picture, that's fine. Yes. Tiresias? Yeah, Tiresias. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this one. And we got this ready. Oh, hold on a second. I got to get this. Oh my gosh. Can we just stop this for one second? Where's my video? Okay. All right. So now we're starting scene 6. Okay. You got everybody in there? Okay. Well, here, I won't mirror like that. Because it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. And again, if you need help with this stuff, happy to do it. All right, still there? Gotta get Mr. Mikey in there too. All right. So scene 6, introduce yourself and the part you're playing.
Oh,
Go ahead, sorry, honey.
I'm Elena and I'm Tarsius.
I'm Elena, that's Perfius. I'm Jimmy, and I'm Korean.
Mike, you know, crayon.
All right. And Max, are you just back there because you need to have a charger or something?
Yeah.
Because I think there's also a plug over there too. But... All right, so Tiresias, just to give you some background, he is blind. He's a blind prophet. Some might say he's an oracle, right? Another fancy word. In ancient Greece, they believed these oracles kind of not really, Chris, when you stop talking for 1 second, not really a religious figure. Yes.
Really like.
No, that's Oedipus. And he's probably long gone and dead, okay? But Tiresias is this old man and he's blind. And he's kind of like I said, like a prophet or an oracle, someone that can see the future, someone that can interpret the past. And it's very interesting, right? That's why he's blind, like, oh, but can he see other things? You know, that it's a figure that people would use a lot in plays. The blind man who can see what other people can't see, right? So Tiresias, he's got this little kid that kind of is like his little helper servant thing. And he is coming to see Creon. He's had a vision of some sort and he's concerned. He's coming to see Creon. So we've got this enter blind Tiresias led by a boy. The opening speeches of Tiresias are sing-song in contrast to the stern realism of Creon. And sing-song would be like, this is the way the blind man comes, princes, princes. Now, you may not want to read it that way. I got you. But he's just kind of like, maybe due to the trance. We don't even know, okay? So we start off with Tiresias.
This is the way the blind man comes, priestess, priestess.
Princes. And again, think of those 2 princes that died.
Lockstep, 2 heads lit by the eyes of one.
What new thing have you to tell us, old Tiresias?
I have much to tell you. Listen to the prophet, Creon.
I admit my debt to you. What have you to say?
Listen, Creon. I was sitting in my chair of augury at the place where the birds gather about me. They were all a chatter as is their habit when I suddenly heard a strange note in their jangling, a stream, a whirring fury. I knew that they were fighting, tearing each other, dying, in a whirlwind of wings clashing, and I was afraid. I began the rites of burnt offering at the altar, but
Hephaestus
failed me. Instead of bright flame, there was only the sputtering slime of fat thigh flesh, melting. The entrails dissolved in gray smoke, the bare bone burst from the welter and no blaze. This was a sign from heaven. My boy described it, seeing for me as I see for others.
Okay, I'm going to pause you right there. So Tiresias, you're doing great. Comes out there and he's like, okay, I got to tell you, I'm sitting in my chair where I do my stuff, my offerings, and he has like this little kind of fire, let's say, with a pan on it. And there are birds flying all around him and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, 2 birds started fighting. Okay? And they were fighting, they were tearing at each other. And he was afraid of that. Like, why are they were singing all and they were ripping each other apart. Oh, 2 birds ripping each other apart? Winky, winky. Could that be Eteocles and Polynices? I don't know. And then he was concerned with that. So he's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do an offering at my altar. I'm going to set a fire at my altar. And his offering, he threw some kind of food on there, meat, I guess, because he said, Hephaestus failed me. Does anyone know Greek mythology who Hephaestus is the god of? Henry.
Metalworking and stuff.
And
Fire.
yes. And he's like, Hephaestus failed me. My fire wouldn't light. And instead, there was this sputtering slime of the fat thigh flesh. So whatever thigh meat he put in there was kind of slimy, and it was just sputtering, there was no fire, it was melting, the innards dissolved in smoke, and there was no blaze. And he's like, I didn't see it, because I'm blind, but my assistant here saw it, and he told me all about it. And this is crazy. This is bad. So I'm thinking this is a warning. Okay, go finish up, honey.
I tell you, Creon, you yourself have brought this new calamity upon us. Our hearths and altars are stained with the corruption of dogs and carrion birds that glut themselves on the corpse of
Edifices?
Oedipus' son. The gods are deaf when we pray to them. Their fire recoils from our offering. Their birds of Amen have no cry of comfort, for they are gorged with the thick blood of the dead. O my son, these are no trifles. Think, all men make mistakes, but a good man yields when he knows his course is wrong, and repairs the evil. The only crime is pride. Give in to the dead man, then do not fight with a corpse. What glory is it to kill a man who is dead? Think, I beg you, it is for your own good that I speak as I do. You should be able to yield for your own good.
Wahaha! I like this speech from Tiresias. This is big stuff. This is really big stuff, okay? This bottom part, because he's like, okay, guess what? Creon, you yourself have brought this new calamity upon us. It's your fault. It's a big mistake. You made a mistake. Calamity is something dreadful. He's like, you did it. You brought this upon us, okay? Again, we had a lot of corruption here, and Oedipus's sons and everything else. And I'm trying to pray to the gods, and they're ignoring me. They won't help me light my fire. Something is wrong, and I think it's this big mistake you made. Okay? I'm trying to make offerings to the gods. It's not working. Okay? And he says they're gorged with the thick blood of the dead. That's a very gory thing. But he's like, Creon, the fact that I can't get my fire light and see into the future, that's on you. I think you've angered the gods. Okay? And then he starts to say, what does he mean by this? All men make mistakes, but a good man yields when he knows his course is wrong and repairs the evil. What is Tiresias saying to Creon? What does that mean? Yes.
You can still fix things?
He can still fix things. And he's kind of saying the same thing that Haman did, like, everyone makes mistakes. It's a good leader is flexible. Will say, you know what, I made a mistake. I've got to do right by this. Okay? A good man yields and repairs the evil. The only crime is pride. And he's saying that's what, Creon, you're guilty of pride. Give in to the dead men then. Do not fight with the corpse. What glory is it to kill a man who is dead? And again, he's like, why do you have this beef with dead Polynesians out there? Right? Why are you fighting a dead man, basically? Let him be buried. Why is this your big battle right now? You decided that you're going to take him on and not going to bury him, and that's bad. And you won't be flexible about this. Why are you fighting a dead man, right? So Creon's getting warned now from this prophet, this wise man too. Okay, Creon, what do you say about that?
All right. It seems that prophets have made me their special province. All my life long, I have been kind of but for dull arrows of doddering fortune tellers. No, Tiresias, if the great eagles of God himself should carry him stinking bit by bit to heaven, I would not yield. I am not afraid of pollution. No man can defile the gods. Do what you will, go into business, make money, speculate in India gold, or that synthetic gold from Sardis. Get rich otherwise than by my consent to bury him. Tiresias, it is a sorry thing when a wise man sells his wisdom, lets out his words for hire.
What is Creon saying about Tiresias? Is he like, thank you, you're a wise fellow, I will believe you? What does it mean when he says it's a sorry thing when a wise man sells his wisdom, lets out his words for hire? What's he accusing him? Yeah, Davis.
He's like a sellout.
Yeah, excellent, Davis. He's like, oh, he's not being respectful. Creon's like, he calls him a doddering fortune teller. He's like, you're just a fortune teller. You're no oracle. You're no, prophet. You're just a fortune teller, right? And like David says, you're a sellout. Go. You probably got paid for someone to do this. So you take that money and go invest in gold in India, right? Whatever. It's pretty sorry that you've got to resort to taking bribes, okay? Selling your wisdom. Again, Creon, paranoid much? Like he's accusing everybody, right? The sentry's getting paid to hide this, the information. His son's just in it for his gal. And I was like, you're just being paid, Teresa. So he's really dishonoring Teresa here, okay? And he's like, and you know what? Even if the gods, even if the great eagles of God himself carry Polynesius' body up to heaven, I'm not going to yield. Ooh, big talk, okay? All right, Tiresias, what do you say to that?
Creon, is there no man left in the world?
To do what? Come, let's have the aphorism.
Aphorism, yeah, like, okay, like what's your stupid saying you're going to have here, right?
Who knows that wisdom outweighs any wealth?
And surely his bribes are baser than any baseness.
You are sick, Creon. You are deathly sick.
As you say, it is not my place to challenge a prophet.
Yet you have said my prophecy is for sale.
The generation of prophets have always loved gold.
The generation of kings have always loved brass.
Okay, so but Creon's like, yeah, these prophets, they've always loved gold. Like, I'm suspicious of you, you like money. And then Tiresias hits back and goes, but kings have always loved brass. Brass is usually a term for military, okay? All right, Creon, get him.
You forget yourself. You are speaking to your king.
I know it. You are a king because of me.
You have a certain skill, but you have sold out.
King, you will drive me to words that.
Say them, say them. Only remember, I will not pay you for them.
No, you will find them too costly.
Oh, yeah, you can't even pay for this, fool. Okay, go ahead, Creon, sorry.
No doubt. Speak. Whatever you say, you will not change my will.
All right, this next big one, highlight Tiresias' speech here, because he's saying some stuff. Go for it, Elena.
Then take this and take it to heart. The time is not far off when you shall pay back, corpse for corpse, flesh of your own flesh. You have thrust the child of this world into living night. You have kept the gods below the child that is theirs, the one that is grave before them, the other, dead, denied the grave. This is your crime. And the
Furies?
Furies and the dark gods of hell are swift but terrible punishment for you. Do you want to buy me now, Creon? Not many days, and your house will be full of men and women weeping, and the curses will be hurled at you from afar. Cities grieving for sons unburned, left to rot before the walls of Thebes. These are my arrows, Creon. They are all for you.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you right there. So Creon's like, yes, say whatever you have to say, and Tiresias is like, okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Guess what? Something bad is gonna happen to you. You're gonna have payback, man. Corpse for corpse. Flesh of your own flesh. Okay? Someone's gonna die and it's gonna be close to you, he's saying. You've thrust this child of the world into a living night. You've taken this child, 15-year-old, and put her in jail. She's living in nighttime forever, right? You have kept from the gods below the child that is theirs. You don't allow Polynesius to be buried and to go back to the gods, okay? So he's like, this is your crime. You're putting someone in a grave, early grave before she died, and you're denying this dead man his grave. And he's like, and guess what? All the furies and the dark gods of hell are swift with punishment for you. You're gonna get it, right? Do you want to find me now, Creon? Okay? And he's predicting, he goes, guess what? In a couple of days, your house is gonna be full of men and women crying. And they're gonna be cursing you. And this is what comes up. This is what's coming for you. If you don't change your mind, this is what you've had to look forward to. And then Teresa says to the boy,
But come, child, lead me home. Let him waste his finger upon fine anger upon younger men. Maybe he will learn at last to control the wiser tongue and a better head.
and Tiresias is out. He leaves. He's like, I told you all I said, I warned you. Okay, Carabas.
The old man has gone, king, but his words remain to plague us. I am old too, but I cannot remember that he was ever false.
Yeah, Carabas is like, hey, king, I'm a really old guy, and I've been around Tiresias for a long time, and he's never lied before. I'm warning you, he might be right. Okay, Creon?
That is true. It troubles me. Oh, it is hard to give in, but it is worse to risk everything for stubborn pride.
Oh, nice words, yeah.
Creon, take my advice.
What shall I do?
Go quickly, free Antigone from her vault, and build a tomb for the body of Polynesius.
You would have me do this?
and it must be done at once. Creon, yes, and it must be done at once. God moves swiftly to cancel the folly of stubborn men.
It is hard to deny the heart, but I will do it. I will not fight with destiny.
You must go yourself. You cannot leave it to others.
I will go. Bring axes, servants. Come with me to the tomb. I buried her. I will set her free. Oh, quickly. My mind misgives. The laws of the God are mighty, and a man must serve them the last day of his life.
Ooh, change of heart much for Creon? And he's listening to Caragos, and what's Creon gonna go do? What's he gonna do with that axe? He's gonna go friggin' titty, choppity chop, chop, chop. Let's give them a round of applause. They did a great job. All right, well, this is fresh in our mind. Pull up, scene summary for scene 6. Woo-hoo! All right, scene 6, scene summary. I think we can get this. I feel confident we can get this done, okay, in this time. So someone tell me, and don't be so shy, because we all heard this story at the same time. Who comes to visit Creon? Blind guy, blind prophet, let's call him. Blind prophet. Let's call him Terry. Goes to see, it's troublesome to spell it. Blind prophet goes to see Creon to warn him, right? Oh, I'm not showing anything. What a good for nothing. Yeah, if you guys want to watch yourselves, you can go see your thing. They are on YouTube, the public. Okay, blind prophet Terry goes to see Creon to warn him. I'm calling him Terry because Teresa's is really long to write. Goes to see him to warn him. Why is he warning him? Why is he warning him?
It's like walking out there and thinking anything a bad thing. He thinks that something or someone. Oh yeah.
Yeah, tell me, Davis, what about the birds? Okay, he had some warning signs. Birds fighting, like the two brothers, maybe. And he wasn't able to light his, yes. Oh my gosh, Davis, you're on top of this too. At his sacrifice at his altar. Okay. This is a big deal. Okay. What does Tiresias say to Creon? What is Creon happy about Tiresias coming by? What does he think? Creon thinks old Terry is a big sell out and doesn't want to listen or trust him. Right? And what does Tiresias warns Creon? Terry warns Creon big time. What does he say?
That something or someone that's close to him will die.
Someone close to Creon will die. He's making these predictions, right? What else? You can look at that script if you want to, someone close to you. And he also says there'll be crying, men and women will be crying in your house in a few days. Men and women will be crying in your house. They will be cursing you. He advises Creon to change his mind about Antigone. Another person, right? So all along, you've even had the chorus kind of tell Creon, isn't this a little bit harsh? You've had the sentry say that, is it your conscience that's bothering you, king? You've had Ismene saying that, you're a fool. He's had Haman, he's had the prophet, and he's disregarding all of them. And then who changes Creon's mind? Caragos, excellent. Excellent, Sam. Caragos changes Creon's mind. Creon, he suggests Creon do what? And bury Paul in a tomb. But Creon's gotta do it himself. Go get an axe. Right? And Creon finally decides to do that. Okay, he finally decides to go along with that for some reason. I think he's scared enough. And I think really after Tiresias said, hey, guess what? Someone you love is going to die. More people are going to die. I think that possibly scared him. Okay. So you did an excellent job with summing this up. Guys over here, I appreciate your work with that too, and other folks around here. So big points. What evidence do we have here that's good in this script? I'm going to say page 37 and 36. Wait, 36. No, what the heck am I doing? 30. Come on. 37, 38. 38. Terry gives evidence of God's being angry. That's like a fire. And gives Creon a big warning. Okay. Okay. And then the last page, this would be good evidence that Antigone is not guilty of treason. It's on page 42, last lines of Creon. He says, the laws of the gods are mighty, and a man must serve them to the last day of his life. Basically, he admits he was wrong. Okay. And again, that's our text evidence that we've got from there, right? Again, there's no 6 bullet points. And I'm sorry if I'm going to, I see the time. I kind of wanted to get this summary in while we just read it, because I didn't want, I wanted to be fresh in your mind. Okay, so sorry about rushing through that. Tomorrow we will read 7 and we'll give you the assignment, okay? But there's some evidence here. Is page 37 to 38. Terry, our Tiresias, he gives evidence that the gods are angry. Here's my evidence of that. They're angry with you, Creon, okay? And he gives Creon this big old warning, and Creon doesn't want to listen to him. But finally, he listens to Caragos. And we've got a quote from Creon saying, hey, the laws of the gods are mighty, and a man must serve them. Ooh, that even means him too, okay? All right, I will keep this up here. Again, if you take a picture, whoa, I got a couple minutes. If you take a picture, I want you to eventually transfer that writing in the picture to your worksheet here to get your full points. And remember to turn this in, turn in the other one for scene. So we turn in 5, we turn in 6, make sure you turn it in. And we're good. Anyone have any questions about scene 5 or 6? Before we read 7 tomorrow, we will make some predictions. We'll predict what we think is going to happen, okay? Make sure the trash is picked up by you, around you. I think Friday you have another late start. I think it says late start for Friday, 9:20. Merch, no cap on that, okay? No cap. All right. Thanks for paying attention and being quiet. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got it done.
Yep. Got it. Check
And
that
then
box.
scene 7, looks like we'll do some prediction.
Yeah.
And then we'll read that, we'll do the other thing. So I think if you can do 5 and 6 in one period, we can do 7 in the next period. And then tomorrow we'll do the paper, and then you can decide, we can either do random, slips of paper, innocent or guilty, or we can just decide. Today, are you gonna come here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I will. Honey, does anyone know, is Eli here? I haven't seen him in forever.
Big man.
Big man, what do you, how big, Teddy Papa?
He come back tomorrow.
He was playing the other day, okay, okay,
He was here on Monday, but he left.
okay. Hey, everybody, that was 5 and 6. Big man. Goon.